The difference between weak salespeople and strong closers isn't the script. There's a few key areas that really demonstrate when you're on a sales call to the person you're speaking to whether or not you're a strong person or you're kind of a pansy. And what a lot of weak salespeople do is they do a couple of key things wrong at the beginning of the call that set them up for failure before they even get a chance to pitch. Number one is they say the most boring and unoriginal thing in the world. Hey, so and so, this is John from XYZ Company. The reason for my call today is I saw you filled out this form and I just wanted to, talk. It's boring. Every company on the planet has used this silly script and it doesn't work. The other thing it does is it immediately communicates to the prospect that you're just another script reader. You're just another jackass in some call center calling 100 people a day and bothering them. It is an annoying thing to hear. Oh God, here we go again, another sales guy. If you notice, strong closers, they call and they immediately put it on the prospect. They say, hey, I saw you wanted to talk about this thing. Tell me what you're looking for. They're telling them what to do. They're not asking them, oh, what got you interested in it? What made you fill out the form? They don't ask stupid questions. Another thing that weak salespeople do is they ask a bunch of silly questions that waste time and add no value for the prospect or for the sales process. Hey, what part of the world are you in? What's the weather like? How was your weekend? Did you catch the football game? Nobody gives a damn. Are you there to do business? Are you there to make things happen? Or are you there to chit chat? Are you there to gossip and hang out? So weak salespeople do a lot of very silly things that make them feel comfortable. Their goal on the sales call is to hopefully close a deal in as comfortable as of an environment as they can possibly create by adding all these abstractions and obstructions to the deal. Strong closers get right to the point, and they're not scared to ask very blunt and direct questions. When I'm on a sales call, as an example, I have no problem asking people exactly what their revenue is. What are their profit margins? How much cash do they keep in their business bank account to be able to scale the business? Weak closers, on the other hand, are going to be people who are kind of like, well, I'll just get to the pitch and hopefully they have enough money. They also don't take the time to dig deeper. They accept whatever answer they get. So they might be going through their script and they're saying, oh, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on in the business right now? And then the person says, oh, yeah, we're scaling, things are going great, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they just go on to the next question in the script. If you want to be a strong closer, you have to remember whatever people say is whatever comes to their mind first. And unless you dig deeper, you're not going to find out why it is they're looking for help. Why did they fill out a form to begin with? And if you're cold calling, you're going to have to dig twice as deep because they didn't fill anything out. You have no idea what their pain points are. And you're going to have to be very direct in order to get those pain points to be able to try to help them to solve those pains. And so when you really understand what it means to be a strong closer, you understand, number one, you don't waste time. People are busy, especially if you're selling B2B. If you're selling to business owners, you better be right on point. Every question better make sense in terms of taking them from where they are to where they want to go. And you should have some kind of agenda in the sense that they feel like, okay, I can see why he's asking this because he needs to understand what's happening so he can figure out whether or not he can even help me at all. That's great. And now I'm getting ideas as the prospect because he's asking deeper questions and I'm starting to understand, hey man, we're doing this thing this way, but why are we doing it that way? And so strong closers care more about the truth than they do about their own feelings, and they will sit through minutes of silence if they have to get to that truth. It's like Friedrich Nietzsche, the great philosopher, said. He said, you can tell a lot about a man by how much truth he can handle without it being diluted or sweetened. So if you guys are trying to be a strong closer, you have to stop doing all the things that make you weak. I mean, the easiest thing to do is just stop doing the things that don't work, right? And then the second thing to do is start doing the things that do work. Look at what you're using as a script and say, hey, does this question have to be here? Does it add value for me as a salesperson to be able to solve their problems? Yes or no? If the answer is I don't know, it's a no. Notice how no comes at the end of I don't know? That means it's a no. If it's a yes, you keep it. And it should be very simple. You go through 5 to 10 different things on the call that lead them from where they are to understanding that they have a problem that you can solve. And not only is it easy, it's fun, it's inexpensive, and they're barely going to have to do anything except pull their credit card out to solve that problem. If you can hit on those 4 points and it's clear to them that you have a solution to their problems, being able to close deals is actually really easy. You don't get a lot of objections because it's clear, it's obvious. And so if you're one of these people that you're calling people and saying these silly things and then asking about the weather and asking about the football game, asking about their family, this is business, man. Unless your wife or your family's involved in the business, I don't need to know about them. We can talk about your family after you buy. There's no reason to talk about it now. This has nothing to do with that. And so some of you guys right now are doing this. I know because I get cold calls. I sign up. I love it. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's another sales guy reading off of a script. Let's see what he says when I do this. Let's see what happens when I say this thing. The other thing you have to remember is weak salespeople are always trying to figure out how they can get the money. They're trying to figure out, how do I get something from this? And the origin of the word sale or sile is the original version of this word. It's an old Germanic word. It means to give or to put something into the hands of somebody else. So strong closers understand that they don't get anything until they've given something. And part of the reason why it's so important to get that beginning of your call right is because in the middle of your call, you need to be in a position to be an authority. Strong salespeople challenge their prospects. They push on them a little bit. If I ask somebody, hey, what's going wrong with your marketing? And I'm selling them marketing services and they say, well, we're just not getting that great of results. If I pull up their Facebook ads and I see they're only running one ad, I can tell them, hey, man, I wouldn't expect anybody to get great results with only one ad campaign. You need to have a bunch of these things. How many are you guys how much money do you guys want to make? Oh, well, we want to make this much. Well, you're going to need at least 30 campaigns. Do you have the team in place for that? Well, no, we don't. Okay, so you guys want to make this much money, but you don't have the team. So the problem isn't your marketing. The problem is the team. You don't have the right people and you don't have enough of them in order to scale to that revenue number. So if you want to be a strong closer, you got to get comfortable with the fact that you are going to have to challenge people. This is a nice way of saying you're going to have to push them. You're going to have to be a coach. Weak salespeople are like, oh, how do I kind of just say this to them nicely? It's like, no, man, you got to tell people the truth. Hey, I'm looking at your Facebook ads. These aren't going to work. You guys are talking about how much you love what you do. That nobody cares how much you love what you do. They want to know what's in it for me, how fast is it, and how cheap is it? And is it going to be easy? Do I have to do 20 different things to be able to buy from you? So do the work today. Before you get on another sales call, look at your script and say, hey, does this add value? If it doesn't, remove it. Does this challenge the prospect? Do I have something written down that when I call people, I can very quickly rattle off, hey, I'm looking at this. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why this stuff isn't working for you is because it's not interesting. It doesn't add value for your potential customer base, and it doesn't do this. So if you have something ready, it's easy. And this is the most important point. The biggest difference between weak salespeople and strong salespeople is strong salespeople are prepared. They know the day before who they're calling, what they're calling them for, and they know exactly what they're going to say when X, Y, and Z problem comes up in the conversation. And they're more excited about disqualifying people so that they can get it out of their way and move on to the buyers. Whereas Weak salespeople are like, oh, it's okay. I'm learning by talking to these people who can't afford my services. No, you're not. You're wasting time. You're avoiding the challenging conversations that would actually make you more money, solve more problems for your customers, and ultimately lead to your greater success. So make the decision today that you're going to cut out all this nonsense that doesn't close deals, that doesn't add value, and decide, how am I going to start challenging people in a real way that adds value to them, that makes them feel like, hey, look, these people are calling me out. They're letting me know this isn't going to work, and they're not scared to say it. Every great coach any of you guys have ever seen that has been somebody you've looked up to or has improved your life has challenged you in some way. They didn't let you continue to do the things that didn't work. They called you out on it. They said, hey, you got to stop this nonsense. And if you want to be a great closer, you have to be willing to call people out and tell them they cannot continue doing this nonsense.